Hello, I was talking about Japanese film directors. My number one is Akira Kurosawa, number two, Masaki Kobayashi, number three, Yasujiro Ozu, and number four, Kenji Mizoguchi. And I liked those film directors during the 50s and 60s. They produced tremendous high quality, entertaining movies. At that time, the people really in Japan, people in Japan also loved to go to the movie theaters and watch the Japanese films, and that's why they could get lots of revenue. So they are very successful there, and there's some competitions. But after that, somehow the Japanese people prefer like a Western film, like Americans, French, Italian, especially. Those three films are very popular in Japan, and Japanese film, especially the samurai film, somehow people stop enjoying the samurai film. I don't know why that is. Oh, the other thing is that I already mentioned that the NHK, which is Nippon Hoso Kyokai, public government-based, TV producing, TV program producing company, started to produce lots of good dramas and so forth, and that people stay at home and enjoy the TV because they are such a great quality and entertainment, and they stop going to movie theaters. And so, although after those 60s, maybe some of the film industry survived, but only become a particular genre, like Yakuza film, which is the continuation from the samurai films, and the young people-oriented, like a student protagonist films. For a long time, those are two film genres. But Yakuza films also waned a little bit, and so today, the Japanese film, I don't know where it is. Of course, there's lots of, not a lot. Sometimes I watch on the YouTube and so forth, and it's a very good films, and I love those, especially Koreeda. Koreeda got the like a Palme d'Or like a couple years ago, Shoplifters, and it's a great film. Anyway, so Japanese film industry went down. However, for some reason, this guy, Hayao Miyazaki, which is an animator, and produced this Academy Award winning Spirited Away. I was introduced to him a little bit later in this culture here, maybe about 2003, maybe. And the reason why I was introduced is because my kid watching, he was only 2 years old or 3 years old, repetitively the movie I rented from the public library, which is this one here, Totoro. And in the beginning, because he was watching so many times, watching so many times, I, finally decided to watch this, and I love this. This is fantastic film, and you think this is for kids? It's not. It's of course, if it's for kid, but adults can enjoy this. Fantastic animation, and storyline was very fantasy-like, and you will, if you watch seriously, watch this, you will love it. Many people, since I became a Hayao Miyazaki fan, I collected all the Hayao Miyazaki's DVD, yeah? And I talked to other movie buff. Wow, you should watch the anime sometime, especially Hayao Miyazaki. And no, it's anime, no, it's not for me. They say that. And so only the young kids, like high school age or college age kids, probably will induce to be watching this. But anyway, so after seeing Totoro, I started to do a research, and I started to watch one by one the film, like Castle in the Sky, Howl's Moving Castle, and Porco Rosso, especially Princess Mononoke. This I remember when I visited Japan, long before I knew about Totoro. I was introduced by Totoro to the Hayao Miyazaki. Long before that, only a couple years before, I visit Japan and I talk to my niece. What is the thing that you like these days? What are you enjoying? And she said, Princess Mononoke. So at that time, I didn't know anything about Hayao Miyazaki. I didn't know anything about anime culture in Japan. Okay, that's nice. And that's it. But after that, after I got to know Hayao Miyazaki, I watched this. And this is fantastic. It's about environment and like a Japanese god or whatever, forest god, so on and so forth. So the precursor of the Spirited Away, yeah. It's a very beautiful animation, beautiful music, and adults can enjoy. As a matter of fact, some of the scene of this film is kind of violent, which is kind of uncomfortable for kids to watch. Probably young kids may not be advised, maybe, I don't know. But this is fantastic. Adults can enjoy this. And Spirited Away, of course, this one got the Academy Award. This is fantastic. Get to know the Japanese culture. This is it, It's a really fantasy-like Japanese, old Japanese memories, I would say. When you are born in Japan, your image, comes back all the time. What is most longing toward old cultures and so forth. This is it. This is very nice. And Howl's Moving Castle. There's a lot of other film, like Kiki's Delivery Service, which is very nice. It's about the kids in the Western country, like Sweden, maybe Swedish town that took place. And I couldn't find the DVD. I have DVD, but I couldn't find it now. So anyway, that was very good. And the Porco Rosso is actually Hayao Miyazaki made this film very quickly to entertain the people who are going to the air flight from one place to the other. They entertain a couple of hours watching the anime, and that is the audience that he imagined. But this is kind of nice. It's an adult film, not for kids. Very, very beautiful film. It's very nice. And so Studio Ghibli produced lots of Hayao Miyazaki's film. But there's another director, Isao Takahata, has this. And this is based on the fictional story, published probably about 60s maybe, and you know, the authors I couldn't just remember, but I read the book, and you know, it didn't hit me anything. You know, it's about a wartime story, and he has also those coupling those particular grave of fireflies and the American seaweed or whatever, Hijiki, American Hijiki, which is coupled. And I enjoyed American Hijiki, which is a kind of funnier story. This is kind of a sad story during the wartime, and I didn't pay much attention to it. But anyway, so Isao Takahata took this particular story and made a film. This is not for people who are entertained or who are get some kind of a satisfaction at the end. This is very sad story, so I have to warn you. But it is anti-fall film, and it is beautifully done. And the particular tears you shed is not like a tears you shed when you see the sad film. It's much more stronger, I would say, and it's very good. He passed away. He passed away producing this particular film, Princess Kaguya. This is also a beautiful film, but you know, it's commercially, I don't think it's not as successful, and so anyway, but he passed away, fortunately. And he has another two films, like I have is Pompoko, which is a very funny story, and only yesterday it didn't come out on DVD for a long time, but many people talked about this particular film. You know, it's a good film. Why they don't issue it at the DVD? But finally, it came in a DVD, and I bought it. And it's a small film, you know, but it's very good. Anyway, so anime became like a number fifth, especially Hayao Miyazaki. After Kenji Mizoguchi, I would say Hayao Miyazaki is the number fifth rank of Japanese cinema. But this is like a 1980s, 1990s, 2000, or something like that. It's much later films, but you can see the how the Japanese film transitioned to anime world, and it's kind of not sad. You know, there's another film director who got the Cannes Film Festival award a couple of years ago, Koreeda, Kiyoshi Koreeda, I think. He is very good. I like him, his films. But anyway, so today I wanted to talk about anime, especially the Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. But for me, well, that's only two directors I like. There's other directors, probably lots of other directors producing lots of animes, which is very popular in this country. Also, there's the library which stock lots of animes, and I think many young kids love to watch those animes. And there's a certain culture who love Japanese anime. And those are kids who goes to Tokyo to enjoy the the great culture of the today's world. Those people who fell in love in anime and then start to learn Japanese language, and then finally go to Japan to study abroad and so forth, and introducing all this Japanese culture to their own country, man. So that's a good thing. And so anime, I wouldn't dismiss it, especially Hayao Miyazaki. You got to see it. Many people say, "Oh, anime is not for me," and they just dismiss it. But just try it and see how you think. As artistically in the movie making and so forth, it's a good thing there. Okay.